We're driving cars on a Mars tonight.
A Fujifilm recipe that will not affect your RAW file. A Fujifilm recipe that it is able to give you good results indifferent of lighting condition, of weather condition, indifferently if you are outdoor or indoor. I want to give you this Fujifilm recipe that's inspired from Ilford right now. Hi there, my name is Tudor Matescu and on my channel I talk about photography gear, tips and tricks. Now I want to talk about the Fujifilm recipe that will give you consistent results. This Fujifilm recipe is inspired from Ilford, that's why I've called it Fujifilm Ilford recipe. We will not obtain an exactly Ilford looking file, but the file it is very close, it's looking very organically, as you can see from here. And you can get very good results online, print it, sharing on the social services and so on. So I really advise you to look into this recipe, take it and set it on your Fujifilm camera and start shooting with it. So let's get to the subject. What is important to understand is that these film recipes that you are finding online are affecting your RAW file because you are always shifting the white balance or adjusting the white balance, and this white balance will affect your image details, your image quality characteristics. I've talked about this in a recent video. Check the previous video, link in the card or in the description for more details. So my recipe will not affect the white balance. You can affect the white balance after you've shot the picture with standard settings, and after taking the picture you can adjust the white balance to have a more contrasty looking image or a more bright skin tone. So what I can tell you about this recipe, it is how I've said it, it's working in different lighting conditions, and this is why I've made 3 Fujifilm recipes. It's the basic recipe and we have another 2 derived from this recipe. So let me tell you now the basic recipe that I've called it Ilford. So first of all, Ilford it's a flat film. At start I didn't like that flat film, but I've realized in time a flat looking image is not a bad image. If you are showing that image on a beautiful contrasty screen, or if you are printing that image on a contrasty paper, you will get beautiful results, and this recipe it's giving me that. I feel I have beautiful results for portraits and for street scenes. So let me tell you now what are the settings that I've used on my Fujifilm X Pro 3 camera and also on my Fujifilm X-E4 camera. First of all, you must know that you must shoot this recipe overexposed. +1 or +2, between these settings you must have this exposure compensation dial set. So after you've overexposed your image, go to the Q menu and make the settings and save them. First of all, set dynamic range to 400. You need this because you want lots of details in the shadows and in the highlights. Ilford film, it's a film that it's keeping good details in the shadows and in the highlights. This is why it is a flat film. Next, let the clarity on 0. You can adjust that clarity after taking the picture, or if you want the clarity effect, you can set it on +1 if you want a more contrasty picture, but I've let clarity on 0 and set shadow tone with +1 setting because I don't want a very flat image. I like some contrast to have, and +1 I found it's working the best, and it's not slowing me down because the clarity effect it's slowing you down. Next, set the noise reduction to -4, use the film simulation across yellow and highlight tone -2, so we will get lots of details in the highlights and we'll have a flat highlight. The +1 shadow will offer us some contrast. Set the sharpness to -3. Then go to IQ menu and set monochromatic color WC +1, MG -1 if you want some sepia effect. Set grain effect to strong and small. This will give us the film sharpness. If we want a more sharp image, we can bump up the sharpness and we'll still get that nice looking filmish Ilford-like recipe. Then set color effect chrome to strong and color chrome FX blue to strong. These are all the settings that you must do. Save these settings and you are ready to shoot. This is the basic Ilford recipe. With this recipe and with this dial overexposed, you'll get consistent results independent of weather and lighting conditions. Next, let's say we have a very flat light condition. You are outside, it is cloudy outside and the light is very flat. If you have this standard film simulation, you'll obtain acceptable results. But let's say you want a more contrasty look right from the camera. This is what I prefer. So this is why I've made two changes and saved another slot in my Q menu that I've called it Ilford Flat Light. So I will put this setting when it is cloudy outside and I want a little more contrast in my image. So the settings are the following. I set my highlight tone to +0 and my shadow tone I let it on +1, and if I will need a more contrasty look I will set it at +2. Now getting to the third setting that I've called it Ilford Harsh Light, I've changed again just two settings. If we have a harsh light, let's say it is summer and you are going outside at 11-12 o'clock, you have harsh shadows and very strong light from the sun, then you will need to make the following adjustments. Set the highlight tone to -2 and the shadow tone to -1. If you really want a more flat looking image and if you are really having strong shadows, then set the highlight tone to -2. If the image is too flat, then you can set the clarity to +1. But you will have a delay in your shooting. So these are the settings and the results are very good. As you can see, I'm using this Fujifilm recipe for over a year and I get good results inside, outside, in flat light, in harsh light, in normal lighting conditions. I get good results for portraits. This is a portrait made today in the studio and I'm really satisfied with it. And this portrait, it is made outside in flat light. The image, it's beautiful, it's looking very organically, the details, everything, it is beautiful. And I can adjust the JPEG files if I need more contrast, more clarity, or if I need more exposure. I can edit these JPEG files and I can obtain very good images straight from these JPEG files. So I can get very good consistent results, and I found out that these images that I get using this recipe, I can use them online in printing on my big screen. What I don't like it is when sharing them on WhatsApp, on Facebook, because these social services are compressing the image very much and these services are destroying the image quality characteristics. So my advice to you is, indifferently of what film simulation you use, try to share the whole image or try to resize the image in your Fujifilm camera, so you will not need to resize it more on the computer or on your phone. When you resize this image, don't expect to not affect the image quality. Yes, the image quality will be affected also when you share this image on WhatsApp and so on. So it's important to know how to look at these files and how to obtain what you want from these files. And this is why my advice to you is always use also JPEGs plus RAW files, because you will get good consistent results when you are using JPEGs, because you will have the ability to do whatever you want with that file. But regarding the Fujifilm simulations, if you want something ready to go, something that it is very pleasing to the eye, I really advise you to try this Fujifilm recipe personally I'm very satisfied with it. The results are very good. Also, if you want more, you can shift the white balance after taking the image. My settings for shifting the white balance are the following. Set the red +8 and the blue -2. So you will get more bright tones, more bright skin in your images. This image, it's taken with these settings, and yes, I get brighter skin tones. But the problem is, depending on the light, the skin tones can get burned. This is why I don't like to have the white balance shift set it in the camera before shooting. I prefer to set the white balance on auto, and after taking the shot, change and shift the white balance in camera or in Lightroom. I can shift the white balance in Lightroom and make that picture black and white, and I will obtain the same looking file as I can do on my Fujifilm. Yes, it's more work to do, but this kind of workflow will help me get a solid and healthy archive. It's very important to have the colors for black and white shooting in the right spot. If you don't have the colors in the right spot, you'll affect the details in the skin tones. You'll affect all kinds of details, clarity and texture details from that scene. So this is why my advice is to you, don't use Fujifilm recipes that are shifting the white balance. Apply the white balance shift after taking the images. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel and be sure to check the blog site where I will publish the recipe, so you can take a closer look to know better what you can expect from this Fujifilm recipe. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and talk to you soon. Bye bye.